let's say, the hardest deliverer of chair shots or weapon shots? Who really, really laid them in?
Rock, come on.
Did you have any ill effects from that at all?
I called it. That was my spot. That's the way I wanted to take it. I told him that's what I wanted. I told him to swing it. And I felt like, I've taken worse chair shots to the back of my head or to my head. And that's the reason why I did that one, was because I hated him, because I just didn't like not being able to see it. So I said, hit me in the face, I'll do the rest. And so he did that. And to this day, I can sit there, as God is my witness, man, I hardly felt anything. The sound of it was more shocking than anything, but the effects of it was nothing.
It's something more of a bigger question with pro wrestling, I suppose. But how quickly does it take you to realize that you've got chemistry with somebody in the ring? Is it in the lockup? Is it 5 minutes into a match? Is it several matches down the line? When do you first realize that this is a great opponent for you?
Everybody's different. You could do it right away. Like me and Rock was right away. Other people, it may take 1 or 2 matches and then you click. So I think it's just everybody's different, depending on who you're working with, what kind of style they are. So, but I think with anyone, you can always get there. If you work hard enough, you can always get there.
Do you remember anybody as a wrestler that you maybe had no idea how they beat and they completely surpassed your expectations as far as how good they were?
I would say Rock, right in front of my eyes, because I was working with him as he was transcending. And I think a lot of it had to do is the minute they brought him in and gave him the mic, because he was with the nation for a while. When we started working, they just started to let him maybe open up a little bit. But as we were through the middle of our feud, or whatever you want to call it, program, he started to take off because he got comfortable on that mic. And once he did that, man, the stars were the limit.
Did you ever have a word with Dwayne and say, listen, dude, I was The Rock in UFC before you were The Rock?
No, I never. I never came at him like that, but because when he started using The Rock, I said, "Hey, bro, you know that I was The Rock first, right?" And he was like, he looked at me very confused, and then I had a contract where I had all that carved out. So I said, "Bro, no, seriously, I got it in my contract."
Did you ever actually like trademark The Rock for you as a nickname while you were in UFC?
I have it in a contract. Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
In UFC or WWF contract?
UFC, not UFC and WWF. In both of those, I had it in a contract. World's Most Dangerous Man, the Rock, Shamrock, Lions Den, all those things. Even the action figures that had Lions Den written on them, I own those. Those are mine. Those are my trademarks.
So, what do you think of when Pedro Hizzo becomes The Rock in UFC? I don't know if there's a crossover where you both are becoming The Rock in the same events or something.
It don't matter. I just like when people talk about somebody copying like Kurt Angle, they're like, "Are you mad?" I was like, "Why am I mad?" It's like, that's like an honor. It's like someone uses something you've used and you've made it famous. Why are you upset about that? Yeah, no, I just think when someone uses something that you've created, like The Rock, World's Most Dangerous Man, any of that stuff, unless they go out and they start trying to build a business with it, like literally a global business, and then tries to block you out from using it, that becomes a problem. But if you're both using, I don't care if someone goes in there like Kurt uses my move. It's like, because someone else developed the slam way, way, way back in the day, but everybody uses it now. That is a compliment.
Definitely. Well, there was also, because I used to do a podcast with Don Morocco, who was called The Rock back in the 80s. So, there's always a Rock beforehand,
Yeah,
isn't there?
right. Yeah.
Tell me when you first started feuding with Dwayne, who would be the ring general in that situation? Who would be the one calling the matches more?
I think when we got started, we sat down with each other, tried to figure out what we both did well, and that we would try to put those different things in and add them in. But hey, listen, don't even think about it twice. Rock was a genius when it came to wrestling and being able to put things together. So I followed him.
So would you say that this is going to come out wrong, but like the sort of balance of who would call the matches, would it become more The Rock later on down the line when you wrestled, or did you always have a collaboration?
Well, it was always a collaboration, but man, I leaned on him a lot to be able to make sure that whatever he was doing was going to get over.
I have it here that you are credited with making The Rock bleed first. You're the first person to make The Rock bleed. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know if it was that I actually did it, but I think it was just something that a move or something that we did where he took a pretty hard bump and he, tore his lung or something like that. I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. Yeah. So it was. Did anyone ever come to you and blade? Did anyone try and get you to do that, cut yourself, or were you just not having that kind of thing?
No, I think in those days that just didn't happen unless it was a gimmick that you used prior or that was something that was part of your thing. Nobody really did that stuff. It was more about the action in the ring.
And excuse me, I know the dozens and dozens of times you've wrestled him. Is there any one match with The Rock that really stands out above the rest?
King of the Ring. Yeah, I thought King of the Ring was where it just felt like when we put that match on, that our match was the match. Even with all the greats on there, I thought our match was right there.
Yeah, that's the first one where you finally get the big win over The Rock as well. So, I mean, you raise your hands and you look so happy as well to finally get it done, in front of the pay-per-view audience as well. So, I mean, that's probably, I would have, if I were you, I would have said the same one. But why that one over WrestleMania, let's say?
Well, I just felt like everything we did in there was just spot on. It felt like the chemistry was on. I mean, it was always on, but this one just felt like it was like it. Like we put together a great match and we were competing with some great combinations. And I felt like we were right there at the top. So, and so did everybody else when they watched the match or when they were there. A lot of people would have said, hey, you guys were probably one of the best, or if not right there with the best.
Yeah. At WrestleMania 14, this is a few months earlier, was there ever an original plan for you to win the Intercontinental title belt, or was it always going to be a more extended program as we saw?
Yeah, I think the idea was, or at least I thought, I was confused a lot with a lot of other people of why some things never happened, because it felt like we were going that way. It wasn't like I didn't have the talent or the ability to do it. I think that I'd proved that already over and over again, but it just felt like it just died. Like it just felt like after Rock moved up for the title, it was almost like somebody or something was blocking me from getting my shot.
Any theories on why that happened, or?
No, because like I said, I'd be guessing and I don't want to do that.
Yep, absolutely.